All right, we're back from the executive session. No votes taken, no actions taken. Tonight's invocation and the pledge by Councilmember Rich.
We invite your presence, Lord, to guide our discussions and decisions. Please help us work together in harmony and achieve our goals. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you for coming tonight. We've got a lot of things going on. Just a quick update on the Center Street project. We've just got word today that the Ashley's hopefully going to be reopened this weekend. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to move into the area between West Hudson and West Cooper. Going to do some storm drainage installation, road work, and the curb and gutter improvements. If you've seen the new sidewalks, it's actually looking pretty nice. By the end of the month, we're looking at between West Cooper and West Arctic. Unfortunately, it's going to bleed into July. Final roadway restoration activities are currently scheduled right between July 20th to the 29th. So we've had some delays with Dominion Energy that kind of put us back behind the 8 ball a little bit on that one, but all that's resolved. So hopefully we can start having additional crew tomorrow. We keep hearing tomorrow, but I feel like tomorrow's the day. So we can start moving quicker down the Center Street project. And all along, you're going to start seeing improvements, including tree planting, landscaping, the rain gardens. All these things are going to be in place so that it's going to look great, but it's also going to drain quicker and get rid of that storm water as we have it. So that was I just wanted to give you that update because I live on East Hudson. My wife asks me every day, when are we getting paved? So I hear it too. So one thing I did go back and look at as far as our day traffic, we have a counter on the bridge that indicates how many cars are coming across. We're basically right at where we were last year, within 0.6%. So day traffic, people are still coming. It does back up. I was in it Sunday, it backed up only to Crosby's at noon. So you just deal with it during the summer months. Tonight we're going to do the first reading for the fiscal year 2027 budget. I wanted to put out the overall idea behind a lot of the budget was looking at our council's strategic planning and trying to look at ways to fund those initiatives throughout the year. We've got all of our initiatives are like tier 1, tier 2. This budget accomplishes or funds all of what we identified in tier 1 and tier 2. That includes the resilience and feasibility study for the road causeway, looking at a comprehensive review of the short-term rental cap, and continuing expansion for pedestrian infrastructure beyond the commercial district. So that means new sidewalks for the island. We also are advancing tier 2 priorities, which includes updates to the city's comprehensive plan, our Parks and Rec master plan, renewed planning efforts for the Clam Farm storage facility, and continued investment in our parks and resilience initiatives, as well as cultural arts programming. We're working on doing an art program here in the fall, so I would hope that you'll stay tuned for that because we've got a lot of really talented people on the island. It'd be great to recognize them. So, and that brings me to my next piece where I want to recognize Carl House. Come on up, Carl. Carl is stepping down, as you can see, but he has been involved in countless areas, including the Sea and Sand Festival, the Planning Commission. You were joined in 2007, served until 2014, the last 2 years as a chairman. Then you're on TV, the Tourism Visitors Promotion Committee, 2014 to the present. You chaired that committee for 6 years. Then you were involved with the Folly Beach Historical Society. You were Councilman Houghton for a couple of years during the formative time of it. And you're also involved with Surface Healing. You're known as the Watermelon Man, which I always enjoy that part of the day. So we just want to recognize everything you've done for the city and just let you know just how much we appreciate your commitment to it.
Thank you, Chris. Long speeches, but I want to thank you and everyone here who's helped support this endeavor. I've seen a lot of changes since I first came to Folly. A lot more people, a lot more pressure on council to provide new services, and I think you've all done a great job. And I appreciate this honor, and hope to be around for a little bit longer.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll move into staff reports. Dr. Elko.
Good evening, Nicole Elko, Coastal Management Consultant for the city. I can't see anymore, so I'm trying to get used to this. All right, so tonight I'm here to recommend that you fund a one-year pilot with Surfline Coastal Intelligence. And the idea would be to do this one-year pilot to prove that this technology does what we think it will, and to attract some partners. I think that there are other entities that should be helping the city to pay for this, and we can use this one-year pilot to demonstrate that. So what is this? It is Surfline Coastal Intelligence is a startup kind of under Surfline itself. They started about a year ago, so they're a brand new tech firm. And the idea is that we will add cameras along the shoreline, Surfline type cameras. They could be utilized for the usual Surfline information, like the two stations already are at the pier and at the washout. We do have two existing areas where Surfline provides camera feeds. And but really, the data aren't really intended for surfing. They're intended for science, so to help do the types of things that I do for the city, and also for tourism statistics, and also we think that public safety can really benefit from this. So I'll talk just really briefly about each of those, and also wanted to mention that it's not the scary kind of AI that you might think of, like they're not face recognition or anything. It's just that we're using data from the cameras, and we're doing some kind of machine learning or a computer program that goes in and looks at the camera imagery and pulls out information and data. So this is a sole source recommendation only because this is the only firm that has commercialized this type of technology. Like if we put out an RFP, they're literally the only ones that could apply for it. There are a bunch of researchers and scientists and universities doing this type of work, but they're the first firm to commercialize it. We'd also be the first community on the East Coast to adopt this. We're like neck and neck with the County of Volusia in Florida, who might adopt theirs later this week at their council meeting, but they do have a number of clients out on the West Coast, and I'm pretty impressed with the validations I've seen from it. So again, just very quickly, we'd be looking at about 5 additional locations for cameras that would be sort of looking up and down the beach. It would help with measuring the shoreline, understanding how the beach is changing, not just once a year, which is what you contract me to do and go out and measure, but at any time, in real time, we can know what the beach is looking like. A substantial cost savings I would mention is that part of my contract has $8,000 option after a storm that's for me to go back out and redo the survey that we're out there doing today, this week in fact. It's really useful information if we're sure that it was a bad storm and like, yes, we need the information, we gotta send it to the Army Corps, we need to start the reimbursement process. But the cameras would let us have a look at it and say, well, you know, we can collect some data, understand if that type of investment is necessary or not. So some specific cost savings I could cite there. As far as tourism, as the mayor mentioned, we kind of count cars coming over the beach. We look at ATAX sales. We kind of do this guesstimate of how many people are actually going to the beach. This would allow us to know that number and have some confidence in the statistics we're using when we speak to state and federal funding agencies. And then finally, I'm pretty excited about the public safety opportunities here. So we don't really know at any given time right now how many people are on the beach, where they are located. I think county parks can really benefit this from a lifeguard perspective, they have an add-in that can integrate with what they use for lifeguards. So telling us, how many people are on the beach, how many are in the water, where are the crowds concentrating, when does tourist season even begin on Folly? What's the date of it? How long does it run? So many things that we try to answer, we come up with answers to those when asked, but this will help us quantify and know the answer. So I think that's everything I wanted to briefly touch on. I'm sure you all have questions, and I don't know if Mayor or Aaron, you have anything to add that I have left out.
This is a sole source recommendation, and as Dr. Elko mentioned, there's no one else who does it. I think there is a firm maybe in Hawaii who has something similar, but not this. So we have no other option if we want to move forward with this. And one of council's strategic goals was to move further down the smart cities path and then introduce more technology. And just looking at the proposal, the fact that no one else does it, and the combination of cost savings to Dr. Elko's work, the overlap with the TVPC, giving us our first ever real data about beach visitation, it just seems like a win-win for the city, something that's perfectly suited. And we're asking to do it now because hurricane season is now. When a storm comes, we will need to have this data, and the sooner we get this in place, we could have a whole season of information if we do it out of this budget year instead of next budget year.
And it's a great benefit to collaborating agencies that also could assist with funding and grant opportunities. We're showing we're shovel-ready for a lot of things that this would help validate. I think the data would validate. And also note that you tap into existing power, and there's no additional cost for the city to have new power sources or anything else. So
They maintain the whole thing.
kind of a win-win. And they do maintain the whole thing.
So it's six new cameras, 5 existing cameras. Where are those, do you know where those 5 are?
There are several at the pier. If you look at the Surfline feed, it actually looks down the pier and it looks both east and west. And then there are 2 at the washout as well. Those are the ones that Surfline alone operates. There are other cameras on the island.
So the 7, I see we're getting a 45% discount. And will we be paying for all 11 of the cameras or just the 6 new additional ones?
Just the 6 new additional ones.
Who pays for the other 5?
Surfline has agreements with the places that they're installed to have them there, like on the tides, for example. And Surfline funds
They negotiate that on.
How about the washout?
yeah, Surfline manages all of them. So they have subscribers that kind of pay for the fees.
It's like advertisement based. I mean,
And subscribers, so members that want to become a premium viewer,
So when we buy these and we increase their network, are they discounting us because they see increased revenue based on more subscribers interested in more cameras, or will that offset our cost?
No, they, in fact, they're not requiring us to make any of these cameras public, so that's up to us. Where we put them and whether or not they're public facing is up to us. They have suggested that they are interested in what you just described at the county park. That is kind of a high use area for water sports. So that's somewhere that they would like to get into that agreement. Mostly the discount is to incentivize this product coming to the East Coast. They're excited to work with us and leverage our connections.
So after we get in at 76, how long would you expect the discount to last?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that this would have a 1-year option for renewal, and we should sort of keep negotiating that on. I think this company is going to Springboard, so it's something we should keep an eye on. I don't have a good answer right now, but.
And do you think, you said before, the figures that the AI generates regarding beach erosion stuff after an event won't necessarily replace the hands-on measurement, will just indicate the need for the hands-on measurement, or?
It will do both. So in the case of an extreme event, you're gonna need to go out and collect the data along the island. But if this is something that really is working out for us, it wouldn't take, they have another option that was maybe like $150,000 a year or something, where we're expanding camera to just have full coverage of cameras.
Lord,
We don't really want that.
I guess we should walk before we run, but.
So, but the amount of coverage that we'll get from this package, I think, is substantial, and it will get us a long way toward, not minimizing our monitoring costs throughout the year.
And everything else is just extra bonus.
Absolutely.
Public safety.
Does Charleston County pay for any of the camera locations since it's on their pier and at the?
They don't right now, but I think that they are a logical first partner that we've already started trying to engage with, but I think, they like to see some results, so this will provide that.
Maybe we can switch out a lifeguard or two for cameras.
Yeah, the lifeguard thing, I think, will be a game changer for them.
The real-time data for the dunes, that type of thing is awesome, but this tourism piece, I think, get that data to the TVPC. I mean, we can utilize a lot of this information.
Who's gonna have access to it? Like, who would have access to this constant, the videos, the feeds, the
Yeah, whoever we
monitoring?
decide, so certainly the city, and then beyond that, however the city agrees with Surfline to make. It could be fully publicly facing,
Right.
where anyone
So,
can watch any camera at any
We have,
time, or.
so do we have a plan in place, like a usage policy for this, when you're dealing with this kind of technology and at this expense? I think there's a lot of open questions. I've got about 7 more. I wish this had come on a work session, so we could have tried it out and talked about it a little first, maybe seen a demo of different things. This coming up, we find out about it on Friday, we get information tonight, we vote on it tonight, just getting a little old. I see a lot of benefits to this, but I can also see some detractors, and it is not a cheap piece of software. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I think a little more due diligence is needed. I just, wish we'd been able to talk about it first.
Well, how will public safety utilize the information that's going to be gathered by these cameras, these additional 6 cameras? Tell me more about that.
So it's yet to be determined. I don't have a plan for that. I'm excited to work with public safety about how they might utilize it. I know what data we will collect, and then beyond, I can tell you how I'll use it for the coastal monitoring piece, how we can use it for tourism statistics, but it hasn't really been tested, in our type of beach environment yet for public safety. But we can count the number of people, and we can help in real time tell them how many people are where and where it's needed.
Yeah, the intention is to identify where people are. If there's a disproportionate amount of people at X location, then we can send resources there and that type of thing.
Is it something?
Go ahead.
No, my question is actually kind of fundamental.
Big airplane that was sideways, went right behind the hotel like that, right over the water,
Yeah.
like a passenger plane, sideways.
Yeah.
Wow.
From a public safety standpoint, Chief, this isn't going to be a Big Brother scenario, is it? Where we're spying on coolers and looking at what people have on the beach, and
We don't know, because there's no policy there. That's the thing I'd like to see, those exact questions answered before we commit to spending, $80,000 on something with an automatic renewal for 140.
Yeah, I mean, to your question, I've not seen so I don't even know what the feed looks like necessarily. I've seen the ones we have existing, so if they're like that, I don't think they have the resolution.
The
for
heat
that,
map
even if
would
you
be
wanted to
very
do that.
similar to what you're gonna see as far as identifying.
So,
Is it
I don't know anything about the
Is it a
technology.
passive system, or can you, I can see where if a pop-up party starts at 13 West and, the camera sees 150 people at a place, there's usually 5. Does he have to go look to see that, or will the AI say, this is met a threshold that was determined by public safety, and we need to send him a message that says, hey, 150 people are gathering at 1300 block, you might wanna send somebody by?
Yeah,
Is it
alerts like
interactive
that.
like that, or is it
Absolutely.
just passive?
It's interactive, and alerts can be built in, just like that, based on our needs.
Pretty neat.
I'd just like to see a lot of these questions answered before we commit this money. I think we should postpone it to get more information and see a demo and just, go through some more logistics.
Okay, being one that since Friday, out of the gates, I was fascinated by it, I wanted to research, and I want to thank Dr. Elko, because you were in the field today and took my call on another person's phone. So I appreciate that, so I feel a little bit more versed in this. I also had some staff feedback, and I appreciate you, Mr. Pope, as far as the RFP, what a sole source is. The one, to be honest with you, I don't know, in the sense of, I hesitate because I don't know, in the sense, I also want to separate what we need for the science versus the other. So that's what I'm going to do for myself, to sort of whittle it down, the science piece. So when I looked at it and I checked out, it's great that we're cutting edge, but it is a startup. I mean, it's a new initiative. It's innovative, it's a new initiative. So my question might be, if we're going to go this route, is there another methodology? That's commercial, but are there other academic institutions that we could partner with as well? Do you want to answer that now? Because I do have a little list.
Sure, yeah, there are academic institutions doing similar work. There's a federal program called WebCoos that basically is cameras like this, and a lot of academics are doing very similar work. Again, it's not something that you can purchase, and the user interface, I would say, is a lot less sophisticated, but some parts of it are great. So yeah, and I could give you names and contact information if you'd like.
And the thing is you're the expert for us in the sense of, it's a tool that you would use, but we certainly don't want you doing less of the great work that you do. And so when we spoke, let's just say of that, like taking that extra survey, you said that would be, so certainly there's a judgment, you know when you're going out, it's clear when you have to do it. This one's sort of that gray area where it will trigger you to say, yes, we need to do that next survey or not. And so I also understood that would reduce the cost to us $8,000 per incident. Is that?
Correct.
Okay, so that's the number as far as that. I'm kind of grappling between old school, which is a good thing, which would be, and then the new school. Okay, and then the fact that this is it's, to me, in my language, it's a pilot program. It's a test, it's a pilot. You know, and for $76,000, and so I say, like, maybe we want someone else to do that kind of question in my mind. And then every year, this would be an annual cost as far as finances. Okay, so that's the other thing. Do you have any client basically satisfaction? There are other clients. How satisfied are they? Who are they?
Yeah, and we can get that. I've been working with the city of Oceanside, California, and they have excellent data. I can give you some examples of some of the ways they're using it for public safety. They're very happy with it. There are at least 3 or 4 other communities out there, as well as like regional planning bodies, engineering firms, some life-saving groups. So
Yeah.
there's other clients who could ask.
Thank you. And then, actually, I think just, you know, I won't get into the details of the cameras that we already have and how we utilize those and so on and so forth. But I guess my bottom line is, because I want to, intellectually, I want to eventually do this, but I also saw where we could see a demonstration as far as when I went on their website, so I could have a more hands-on sort of picture it on Folly. So, I mean, I have to say, as diligent as I thought, I'm still kind of a question mark.
Is there any, does this allow you to go into the contract, or this is the contract?
The resolution will allow us to enter into that contract.
So it would be then that we figure up like the payment schedule, we don't just write a check for $76,000, but we have some goalposts for payables. So like, if we don't pay $76,000, it takes 10 months for cameras to be installed. There's gotta be some
That's the total
milestone
cost of-
payments, right?
Yeah, that's the total cost over the year. The payment order is not determined.
You would do that in negotiation
Generally,
time.
we did.
The intention was to get it in place before storm season hit, Dave.
Sure, but I know you pay on deliverables
Sure.
and not just, here it is, do your best and let us know when you're up and running. So, but that would come if this was approved.
The resolution now is just authorizing us to pay that much money for a contract.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a formidable idea. I'm concerned that, I don't know, we don't have enough information quite yet to pull the trigger on it, but I definitely want to see more, and I think if we had a presentation or at a work session or something like that would be helpful. Particularly if it mitigates some of the opportunities, or it mitigates some of the issues we have, from the public safety standpoint as well, to make sure we're not developing a big brother mentality at Folly Beach. Definitely don't want to do that, but on the other hand, it looks, I mean, it's well written, it is extremely well versed out. I just want to see some more information. Is there a work session, I'm sorry, is there a dog and pony show that they can bring to the table, we can look at it over?
Probably work something up for that.
Absolutely, yeah. I've sat on a couple of demos and webinars that I'm happy to be
Yeah.
I mean, they really seemed that, I mean, again, I just read all the information and it seemed like they were ready to just do a demo, so to speak.
Yeah, it'd be great to see. And then maybe some of the idiosyncrasies can be ironed out between now and then as to how we're gonna use that information.
Well, why don't we, when we get to that, we'll postpone that vote till next month pending more information from Surfline.
Thank you so much.
So just a couple of meeting reminders for the public in the audience and at home. Tonight's the first reading of the budget. The formal public hearing for the budget is currently scheduled on June 16th at 12 p.m. That would be the public hearing where everyone's invited. Certainly welcome to give citizens comments tonight, but if you wanted to participate in the formal public hearing for the budget, that's on June 16th at noon. And second reading of the budget is scheduled after that. So please, if you're interested in the city budget, come to that meeting also. On June 22nd, the Planning Commission Comp Plan Committee is going to be meeting with the COG to kick off the planning for the 10-year comprehensive plan update. The exact format hasn't been set up, but that is the first kind of organizational meeting for the comprehensive plan process. So if you're interested in participating in the comp plan, please come out and listen to that meeting, or participate in that meeting, and we'll advertise it as we get
6
closer.
o'clock, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
And we'll advertise that as we get closer. And then we have just a reminder that the city is currently doing a review of the STR ordinance. We've had 2 meetings. Those are online and streamable. We're going to work to schedule the next meeting as soon as possible. The next meeting will be for council to kind of distill all the feedback we've gotten over the years and in this process and articulate a goal and start working on the RFP that we can put out to bid. We have reached out, staff has reached out to the Raleigh Center downtown to facilitate that conversation, not necessarily to do the study, but to help guide this group narrow all the many things we've talked down into something that's a clear goal statement for the RFP and even maybe some of the RFP structure and contents. They've committed to helping us in that process, so we'll be polling you guys for some dates. And at the next STR meeting, we'll have an outside professional mediator, facilitator from the Raleigh Center downtown to come and help council nail down what this RFP is going to be so that we can get it out in the public. As soon as we know that date, we'll broadcast it out to the world. I encourage everyone who's participated to please keep participating in that process.
Is there a fiscal note associated with the RFP development, or
I'm sorry.
is there a fiscal note associated with the development of the RFP?
Cost.
We haven't talked about cost yet, but they do provide a generally low price on consultation services, but we have money in this year's budget to pay them for that facilitation.
All right. Next, we have a request to use tree mitigation funds for private mitigation related to the removal of trees on public property. Eric, what?
So, you all know we had a drainage project down on Fourth East and Indian Avenue. We have an area down there between 403 and 401 that's heavily impacted with a lot of tree loss. It was in the right of way and in the way of the project. And so we're here to request permission to use city tree fund to reimburse the property owners down there up to $3,000 for replacement trees to help mitigate the trees that were taken out during the project. The big catch, why we're here to talk to you about it, is the trees will be on private property, not on public. We can't allow anybody to put them in the right of way, and we don't have a whole lot of city property around here left to start planting trees on at the moment, so.
Is it a
you've seen the
single
memo.
address here? Is it a single address that we're, the private
Yes, sir.
property is a
It's
single address?
Single address and the adjacent property for one, kind of share the property line. So we propose that we reimburse up to $3,000 for replacement trees, which, it's 1 white fringe tree and 3 Taylor cedars. Again, we wouldn't pay it up front. We would ask for proof of the expense and then reimburse.
You're replacing like for like, or are you gonna make?
No, sir, we lost 2 big pines and 6 palm trees.
The intention is just to restore the canopy a bit.
Just to help offset the loss.
Yeah. And ensure that it gets replanted.
Right.
Any questions? All right. Thank you. Next is drone fishing report from Chief Jordan.
So I sent you guys a memo. We've been receiving quite a few complaints from folks on the east side mostly about concerns they have with some shark fishing and specifically the use of drones in the targeting of those sharks. Due to a number of reasons they've brought up is, pulling in larger sharks from further offshore, the chumming of the waters creates a danger for swimmers. The tackle that they're using creates a danger to passerbys, the mess they leave on the beach from cutting up the bait and chum and things like that. And then, some of the noise that's created at night if they catch a large shark or whatever. So basically that was the purpose of the memos, to kind of start that, conversation and serve as a conduit so their voice and concerns are heard by you guys to determine whether or not that's something you guys want to tackle or, regulate at all. And so that's 100% the point. I know Mr. Holiday or Doc Holiday here has gotten a couple of those complaints himself, and he might want to speak on that. Specifically, I don't know if you guys have had or received the same complaints I have. I think a lot of times you do. But if not, I'm happy to share those. Yeah.
It seems to me the biggest complaint has been with the use of overchum and use of drones to track larger sharks in. That is not part of recreational fishing on the beach. So we don't necessarily, you don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Do you think there's a way that we could just restrict those activities? Because that's over and above. I mean, the beach is there for everybody. We restricted any kind of surf fishing from the swim zone, third to third, to make sure we have a dedicated place where none of that, goes on. With the rest of it, I mean, if we could eliminate the two over abuses, I think that would help a lot. Or do we, to limit them to a certain area, like down by the Coast Guard base, other ways to do those little things that you can't. I understand totally for swimmers, but it also, we do have to remember that the beach is there for everybody, but we don't need the over and above. The drone is just, that's over the top. And it's not really fishing at that point. I mean, that's cheap, man. That's not fair.
So, most of you guys have known me for a long time. I'm a fisherman myself, so I definitely have a soft spot in my heart for that activity. However, I completely understand their concerns, much like you do. And I think some of those solutions you brought up are very smart. Anybody that does do any shark fishing knows a lot of those can be caught by the lighthouse. You shouldn't be swimming at the lighthouse.
Right.
So I think that's a perfect opportunity to create areas that folks might be able to use a specific area of the beach to target sharks and not endanger swimmers. That's an opportunity. Again, I was really wanting to serve this conduit of provide you guys the complaints, make sure you've heard the complaints, make sure the citizens feel heard, and then you guys can make a determination as far as if you think creating a specific zone for it. Like you mentioned, we already control shark fishing within third to third. This would either be expanding that or however you guys just.
Can we throw it on a work session to chop it around and kind of see where we come up with, instead of just throwing an ordinance on the agenda?
No, I think it's great to have a bigger discussion. I like the idea of restricting it to a certain zone that's almost unswimmable. I mean, that's perfect.
I think that's the only route. This is a disaster waiting to happen. And the first time we had a disaster on this beach related to people dragging something from a honey hole that's a half a mile off or a mile off, that is an absolute disaster waiting to happen. And it's not just coming by the swimmers. It's coming right by the surfers as well, okay? And they're out there, and they're seeing them. And it is it's not just, and it's a turtle issue as well. It creates all kinds of downstream issues. This technology came up about a year or so ago. If you want to pay the money and you want to go fish, maybe invest in a boat, because this is a joke. I mean, what they're doing is they're creating hazards for children and everybody else that's out there. I'm categorically against this, and I'm a fisherman too, okay? I don't think we should prohibit it. I think we should restrict it somewhere, like the mayor said, somewhere where you can't swim.
I think in addition to location, I think we need to look at time. I mean, I was not aware that it was, in all hours of the night. I mean, I did not have a clue about that, quite frankly,
Yeah,
And so, no, I know that. In fact, I love I go out on a boat and I just actually caught some sharks this past weekend. So I have a bias. And so I think there's a middle ground, and I think we can do it. And I think we're looking at, you know, like, yes, I'm telling you, I'm gonna show you the picture.
I saw it.
Okay, that's right. See, I already sent it out already. So I do think that we can do a happy medium. I think it's beyond location, I think it's timing, and I think we can strike a balance, hopefully to make everybody, maybe not happy, but reasonable.
Yeah.
But let's put together a framework, and then we can hash that out next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Special Events Committee, what?
Good evening. The Special Events Committee met on June 1st to review 3 special events. The first was the 4th of July fireworks show presented by FAB. They are planning to use the same footprint as their fireworks shows in the past. They are not adding any new asks. This is a pre-approved event that doesn't need additional approval from council. One item to point out that we started last year, I believe, is Kelly will be coordinating with Battalion Chief Mraz the morning of to ensure a safe launch that morning. If the weather is questionable or there's elevated wind, Chief Mraz has the ability to postpone the event. So the Special Event Committee did vote unanimously to approve the event. The second event is Exchange Club Pickleball Tournament. This is in a city facility. It is also another pre-approved event. Does not require council to vote on it tonight. They will continue to work with the staff on logistics of locking the courts and unlocking, and the committee voted unanimously to approve them. Lastly is the log pile event. We've seen this 2 other times. This is a newer surf competition that is returning for their 3rd year. The committee felt that the applicant has worked with the city, heard our concerns for the past couple of years, and through their due diligence, in your package you'll see has received support for relocation to in front of the Tides. He has support from the surrounding vendors, the Tides, the county, the beach chair operator to host the event there. The committee felt that he has done his work and does support a location change for the front beach. The applicant is requesting a event location and sponsors on the beach where no items will be sold. So it's just information tables. And that is it. Any questions?
Thank you. All right, do we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Dr. Hutton?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Dr. Holliday?
Yes.
Mayor Brazil?
Yes.
Passes.
All right, do we have a motion to approve of the minutes from the May 12th meeting?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Any discussion?
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Dr. Holliday?
Yes.
Dr. Hutton?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mayor Brazil?
Yes.
Passes.
All right, personal appearances, request for event approval from Ronenworth.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Well, so as you guys know, I'm the founder and director of the Folly Beach Log Pile. So for the past 2 years, the Log Pile has attracted around 150 competitors and spectators. We've partnered with local businesses and given a platform for our surf community to come together and celebrate Folly Beach's long-standing surf culture. For our 3rd year, we're requesting this relocation to the Folly Beach Pier. Since we first started exploring this possibility, we've been in contact, as Wesley said, with the Tides Hotel, the Charleston County Parks and Recreation Commission, and the Folly Beach Share Company. All of them have expressed support for our competition, so long as we stay at least 200 feet from the pier at all times, to keep the pier happy with maritime regulations with our surfers, and then as long as we don't interfere with their normal business operations. And I fully agree to make sure that all those conditions are met. I understand concerns previously have been raised with parking and congestion. I believe that the pier area actually offers a significant advantage in this regard compared to the washout. There's a substantially larger amount of parking available in and around the pier area, and that'll help better distribute visitors and reduce pressure on surrounding areas. Additionally, the majority of our competitors arrive before typical beach traffic begins and remain on site throughout the day, departing after the busiest beach hours have passed. Our event is also held in October, which is well outside of peak summer tourism season, so that just means overall beach attendance and traffic volumes are significantly lower for what Folly Beach usually experiences during the summer months. Safety obviously remains as one of our highest priorities throughout the event, so I'll have a dedicated land-based water safety and EMT support team on site for the duration of the contest to monitor conditions, assist competitors, and respond immediately to any medical or safety concerns. In addition, all competitors will be briefed on safety procedures before entering the water, and contest operations can be paused or adjusted at any time should ocean conditions warrant it. Most importantly, our goal is to host a safe, organized, and respectful event that showcases Folly's surf culture and support local businesses, as well as bring visitors to the area during the shoulder season. I appreciate you guys' time and open to answering any questions.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Do you have a rain date?
Don't have a rain date. I think we'll run rain or shine, unless hurricane or something comes through, and then I'll deal with that down the road or just cancel.
That's where you're really sort of.
Exactly.
I do want to thank you for your cooperation with the city and in making sure you address some of the things that came up, so thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Mr. Farley,
Yes.
Dr. Holliday,
Yes.
Mr. Ridge,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Dr. Houghton.
Yes.
Mayor Pizzone,
Yes.
passes.
Thank you guys.
Citizen comments, do ask that you keep your comments relevant to tonight's agenda, but do we have any people wanting to speak tonight? Come on. If you give your name and address.
Sure. My name is Ray Haskins. I am a land-based shark fishing guide up in the Myrtle Beach area. And I heard that y'all might be discussing the topic tonight, so I wanted to pop down and just give you a quick update on kind of where things stand legally on the topic. Because I'm going to talk about active litigation, I want to be clear that you are not under any threat of any active litigation. But I have active litigation on the subject. I got put in a position where I was looking at a shark fishing ban that was going to put me out of business. And so I filed a lawsuit against an active ban to be able to block a ban from going into place. And we actually, it turns out, have a very compelling legal argument that all county and city level fishing ordinances are unconstitutional according to our state constitution and are subject to preemption, which is the idea that if a higher level of government regulates something, then a lower level of government is not allowed to regulate it. So fishing would fall under that because shark fishing is regulated by the state. It is subject to preemption, and oddly, in my opinion, but luckily for me as a fisherman, the state of South Carolina, under Article 1, Section 25 of the South Carolina Constitution, very clearly states the citizens of the state have the right to hunt, fish, and harvest wildlife. So it's a pretty clearly protected activity in our state constitution. It is looking very likely that we are going to win this lawsuit, and what that will do is make all of the county and state level fishing ordinances unenforceable. So I'm here to invite you into the conversation because I feel a responsibility to ensure that the beaches are a quality experience for everyone, and I am approaching the state with some regulations that hopefully make sense for that purpose, and hopefully some of you will seek me after as I run out of time so
Yeah.
we can talk further about it.
Yeah, feel free to send any information you have.
So here, just if you wanted a copy of the complaint.
Yeah.
And is your contact information on that?
No, I can share that with you as well.
So I can get that later. All right, well, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah, he had his hand up, yes. Come on.
My name is Thomas Wilcox. Ironically, what I have to say is going to be much shorter because of what he had to say. It's kind of covered a lot of my bases, but basically I'm not looking to lecture you guys about the facts behind shark fishing and kind of the lack of evidence that suggests it is a risk to the public. But at the end of the day, what I say probably doesn't hold that much merit because I look homeless and I'm in a meeting doing nothing. But Brian Frazier is your guys' South Carolina DNR appointed shark biologist. And when he was asked about the risks of shark fishing, he was quoted saying that there's no data to prove this when asked about if it was bringing sharks closer to the beach. I would also like to mention that the state through SCDNR and Title 50 occupies the field of fisheries management. Local governments cannot create their own fishing regulations that conflict with state law, and shark fishing is legal in the state of South Carolina. Thank you.
Good evening. Excuse me, my name is John Firstner, reside at 321 West Ashley. Had the opportunity to speak to you folks before, and I appreciate the opportunity again. These are just going to be some observations. Again, I've had the opportunity to be here for many years, off and on. And it really kind of goes back to Chris, your letter back in the April edition of the Sandsburg. And they said we all have a role in making this a welcoming community. Since we've been here since November, there are a lot of things to me that come as unwelcoming. And for example, I will say several years ago, as we've talked about tonight from a public safety standpoint, there were lifeguards all the way to 4th Street, okay? There were also beach patrols at that time. Those beach patrols were known to carry red Solo cups and basically kind of offer assistance in saying, hey, let's not drink that on the beach type thing. So let's fast forward to this Saturday. Spent just a couple of hours on the beach. There were at least 3 different beach patrols that made passes at the location multiple times. There were later another police officer by himself on another ATV. Shortly after that, there was another 2 police officers on another ATV. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. It kind of gives the impression that I live in a high crime zone. I know that's not the intent. But to me, it just seems like the potential enforcement may be fairly aggressive. Again,
I'm trying to keep this relevant to the agenda, but yes, you're.
Well, I think it's from the standpoint of the public safety issues standpoint. I guess that's kind of where I'm going at, is that we have all this personnel, and yet unfortunately we still have people drowning. And so it's really just kind of step back and reflect on some of the priorities, with that from a public safety standpoint.
And we're looking at that actively, so.
And that's I would just encourage you to do that, to try and, how those dollars are spent from a life-saving perspective as opposed to kind of more enforcement.
Sure. Okay,
So,
thank you.
okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, no commissioner board or committee reports, so we'll go to old business. First item is ordinance 007. amending the Folly Beach Code of Ordinances, Chapter 55, on-site septic system management to remove the automatic pump-out requirement for annual STR inspections and require pump-out only if recommended upon completion of a visual inspection of the septic system. This is the second reading. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
And I just would like to add a note for council. As part of the discussion, we talked about a separate ordinance in the STR penalty section. And I know I emailed Mr. Rich earlier. There is no ordinance tonight, but there will be soon. It just hasn't, I wasn't able to work it into the workflow this month due to some staffing issues, but I do expect to bring you guys back next month the penalty ordinance associated with this. Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Dr. Holliday?
Yes.
Mayor Brazil?
Yes.
Passes second.
Ordinance 012-26, amending the Folly Beach Code of Ordinances, Chapter 72, parking regulations to prohibit parking on planted vegetation along walking paths. This is the second reading. Do we have a motion to approve? Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Dr. Holliday?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mayor Brazil?
Yes.
Passes second.
Ordinance 014-26, authorizing leasing city property at the Second Street East Public Access and Parking Lot to Betty's Beach Chair, second reading. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Can I point out that under the number 2 term of the lease, that it does stipulate that either party may terminate the lease without cause within 30 days of written notice.
Yes. Any other discussion?
Just so it's out there, I'll say at least we're getting rent for this one. I can't wait till this contract's over and we get out of the storage shed business hopefully, but at least we're getting rent for this one.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Dr. Holliday?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Sorry. Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mayor Brazil?
Yes.
Passes.
Or-
Second.
Ordinance 015-26, authorizing leasing city property at Third Street East Public Access and Parking Lot to Isla Surf School, second reading. Do we have a motion to
Is
approve?
that east or west?
So moved.
Do we have a second? It is west, but,
It is what?
yeah, you're right, Scribner's error.
Agenda.
The agenda's
Yeah.
misprint, that's all.
Yeah.
So Dr. Houghton made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion on this one?
I object to this one. I'll repeat what I said last time. If we hadn't paid $4,000 to reimburse Isla Surf, then I see how it could be rent-free. But having paid them out the $4,000 for it, I don't think we should be gifting something that we had to buy back. So it's kind of like one or the other. On the other side, we had to pay out somebody for the building in the spot, and we're reclawing some of those public funds back in the way of a rent payment from the new vendor. And I thought we should have used that same model to claw back some of the $4,000 we had to pay for that, and that's the basis of my objection.
Ditto. I agree with Mr. Farley.
Dr. Holliday?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
No.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
No.
Mayor Brazil?
Yes.
Passes.
All right, new business ordinance 016-26, provide for the adoption of the fiscal year 2027 general fund budget containing estimates of proposed revenues and expenditures for the city of Folly Beach, South Carolina, beginning July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2027. This is the first reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I got a couple things. You know, I understand what you said earlier, staff got to start this in February. The council didn't look at it until less than a month ago. We had 2 workshops planned for the same week, one of them of which the HR director was on vacation, and a budget which we have over $500,000 invested in new job hires, current position rescoring, incentives and stipends. I don't feel we had enough time. I asked several times for more meetings to start earlier and to spread out the dates, and I was denied. We've had more meetings about beach chairs than a $20 million budget. I don't like how we're using 25, 26 funds as a 26, 27 revenue item. I'm a big fan. You have to keep your money stashed away. You live within your means and prepare for emergencies. That's all I have to say about that.
I will say that at the second budget meeting, you left early, so I think the
You're
rest
right.
of us worked collaboratively to try to
Right,
get
the
through
HR
it.
director was not there and couldn't answer my questions about new job hires and everything that was in the budget.
There were
And
several
a lot of
other,
things.
several other initiatives were discussed. and
I'm not going back and
To
forth.
the satisfaction. Well, I think that needed to be pointed out.
Sure.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to discuss the budget for the STR study. I'd like to make a motion that we move $75,000 from the general fund to raise the line item in the budget to $100,000.
Do we have a second?
Never fails.
Okay. I have one other item. I'm actually requesting that we raise the COLA and make a motion to raise the COLA, which is the cost of living for our employees, to 3% from the current recommendation. I think we're currently negotiated at 2.7, is that right, Chris? And I think the staff recommendation was 2.2, but I'm recommending we go to 3%. In light of the discussion of the work session where I detailed conversations around the cost of living, the cost of gas, the cost of groceries, the cost of getting from point A to point B. I did say that I was obviously amenable to Mr. Pope's recommendation around the gas or the fuel, let's just say recall of that budget line item in order to ameliorate this particular request, but I'm making a motion that we raise the COLA to 3% for all employees.
Just for clarification, do we need to include where we're pulling the funds from, i.e. the
That's
fuel?
part of, yeah.
Okay, so that,
Just, if you just add that last bit, we're good.
And that's fine, we can, and in addition, we would be utilizing the fuel, let's say, allocation in order to cover parts of those costs.
Do we have a
To
second?
raise it
on
to
this?
3%.
second,
Okay. Any discussion on the amendment?
Just repeat that the staff came in at 2.2, and then at the budget workshop, we kind of negotiated and compromised and came to 2.7, and the results of that compromise have lasted all of 2 weeks, and we're back to the original, so that's all I have to say.
Any other discussion on the amendment?
All right, so I'll call the roll on the amendment. Mr. Rich?
No.
Dr. Houghton?
yes.
Mr. Farley?
No.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Holliday? I'm
Yes.
sorry, Dr. Holliday?
Yes.
Mayor Bazell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Any other discussion on the ordinance?
Is it mine? So I did attend all the meetings, I did due diligence. I talked to the staff in the meetings, outside the meetings. I have just 2 issues, and I brought that to the attention of the mayor. So what I think I'll do, and he encouraged me as well to continue to have the dialogue, but I do just have two issues, and I will start with an added position. There's an added position that is going into the finance area, and I want to say, Mr. Gessner, you provided a wonderful amount of justification. And I also want to say that I had voiced my concerns, and you included customer service. However, I find it to be still pretty heavy on finance. And also about, maybe was it 2 years ago, we added a position to finance. So that's also part of my hesitation. So then what we did lose was what fondly downstairs was called the Marlene position, the position for customer service, the position to fill in when somebody wasn't there. You know, it's full-time and now it's part-time. I will say, you know, whether it be fair or not, the consistent issues that I get is, will someone pick up the phone? Will someone, you know, so on and so forth. So it's a more of a frontline issue for me, whereas I saw this description heavily sort of in the back of the house. And so what I recommended was a restructuring, and it was simply put that it needed a new title, a new supervisor, minimum mention of the customer service, which I reviewed. There was a lack of noting the need to cover other employees when the front was not covered. And it was very detailed, and I acknowledged that the homework was done to advocate for that position. So I recommend we either, I guess I'm gonna have to just bite the bullet and say eliminate that position as it is written.
So that's your motion.
That's my motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the motion? All right.
On the motion, Mr. Fink,
No.
Mr. Farley?
No.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Dr. Holliday?
Yes.
Mayor Pazel?
No.
So that's a tie vote and the motion fails.
All right, back to the ordinance, I guess.
Do you have a second motion?
No, no, I do have a second motion.
Okay, sorry.
We're done with,
Yes, yes.
yeah, I do have a second one. The other one that I really grappled with, and I had a really profitable and lengthy discussion with the chief. And I'm quite grateful for that, frankly, because I hesitate not to support, frankly, everything that staff wants, and so I'm gonna sort of dive into this. So I wrote an email, and I'm just going to read it because the mayor understands my stance on this, and basically I said, during our budget meeting yesterday, I was concerned, and, excuse me, because I do want to do this, and I want to be supportive of the process. During our budget meeting yesterday, it was confirmed that a decision has been made to remove city logos on police enforcement and fire enforcement identification on 3 safety vehicles, administrative. I will tell you that during the budget process, I gained knowledge about the fact that we have 1 unmarked vehicle for the detective and 2 unmarked vehicles for traffic. So that was clear. And in my opinion, those are by virtue of your position. So by virtue of that position, those vehicles are unmarked. The administrative ones are the ones that I grapple with. It is my understanding that these vehicles are provided by taxpayer funds to facilitate the duties of these administrative positions and facilitate city business. Therefore, I find no reasonable justification to remove the city logo and police/fire enforcement identification. Lastly, I firmly believe that the Folly Beach citizens deserve to be able to immediately identify and access these staff members for the purpose of emergencies and Folly Beach-related matters. Therefore, I respectfully request that the city reevaluate the need and purpose of removing city logos in police enforcement. So the motion at this point would have to be eliminating the vehicles. I mean, if they're not logoed. unless anyone has a friendly amendment or a
If you
thought.
have, if all city-owned vehicles need to be labeled and logoed, I got you, like, cause I think
Yeah.
that they need the vehicles, but they need to have, and everything with city property needs to be identified.
Unless it's by virtue of their position, like a detective or, you know.
I think all city vehicles need to be identified as city vehicles.
What's the motion in that?
Okay, so I'll just take the leap. All city vehicles need to be identified and logoed.
We have a-
And, I'm sorry, in terms of the motion relative to the budget, would the motion be to eliminate funding for any city vehicle that is not tagged or labeled as a city vehicle?
If that's the only way I have to go.
That's the only way budgetarily.
If that's the only way, I figured I had to take the leap to,
So I'm sorry, so I understand here, I'm a little slower than everybody else. You're eliminating the vehicles from the budget, the vehicles, because they're not logoed?
If they
or
remain not logoed.
If they remain not logoed?
is
or-
there, that's what I said, is there a friendlier amendment? I'm looking for a friendly amendment in the sense of, because, you know, and so I need some advisement on this. The other thing is in addition to the logos, they need to have government license plates. And I know there was a question when we discussed it, like the numbers, so to speak. So I need,
I think, what about, because if they're doing budgetary, all city vehicles need to be city logo and identified, or they're taken out of the budget? I'm trying to,
Yeah, that's-
something along those lines is how it needs to go, but
I think for a budget.
I don't know what
I
our
think
exact,
For budget purposes, the lever is eliminate funding for any city vehicle that is not labeled as a city vehicle.
but I do believe, okay, let me add, just the technicality is, if it's by virtue of your position, okay, because maybe you, Mr.
yeah,
Rich.
now you're getting a little more convoluted, I'm not
Okay,
saying
all
that.
right, let's go the whole ball of wax,
Okay.
okay?
So the current motion would be to eliminate funding for any non-city identified vehicle.
Do we have a second on the motion?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Any discussion on the motion?
So, I mean, we're clearly not gonna be eliminating vehicles, okay, so let's just call it what it is. We're gonna be removing, we're gonna be putting logos back on the cars that are currently unmarked, all right? Are there any circumstances that create safety issues for those vehicles that could potentially create, I don't know?
Well, we have an admin truck that I don't believe is marked either, and if that's
I
cool, is it?
don't, I don't know.
I mean, if they're going
Do we have
around,
an
it's.
admin truck that's
you
not
have-
marked?
I don't know.
It's labeled.
Oh, it's labeled, yeah, it's
Yeah.
labeled.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Chief, would
The
you like to
chief
speak to
has-
this?
chief has-
Yeah, I want to reiterate, my conversation with Catherine was awesome. And the virtue of being in my position and working together so long, it's good for us that we can have conversation and disagree on an issue, but still respect the position. I will say though, having a police department mandate that all vehicles are marked is insane. You got a former police chief, if you don't want to take my word for it, but how exactly are you supposed to conduct investigations when you need to be discreet in a marked car outside a suspect's house or something of that nature? That's insane. So you're effectively curbing some of the effectiveness of your police agency by creating operational rules that should be subject to the chief executive officer of the city, which is Mayor Bazell. And that's really that simple.
Well, it sounded like she tried to come to you and just get the admin cars
It was a
logoed.
great conversation.
So what about the admin, what about the admin people, like, okay, so say you have the detectives in the traffic,
Yeah.
what about the admin vehicles, cause it sounds like she tried to get those logoed and there was resistance to that, so now we're stuck here because we can't find an easy way on the spot to say, except for
I
utility
thought there was
cars.
only 3 vehicles that aren't logoed,
Yeah.
right? There's the investigator and just 2 others. traffic.
Six.
Yeah, there's six
Six.
total.
Okay.
Admin, 2 traffic, and 2 investigations. Steve's in the process, his is getting marked, you know, I told you that on the phone. We've approved everything to get marked up. The other Steve here works cases and takes on-call weeks and investigations just like the other 2 do. And quite honestly, I could care less if mine's marked or not. I drive 2 minutes to James Island to my house and back. You can look at my records, I barely spend gas, I barely put miles, and my call-outs are just call-outs to serious incidents that we have outside my thing. And like I told Catherine, the main reason is not selfish, it's just I don't think it's reasonable to spend city money on logoing up a vehicle that spends 90% of its life in a parking lot, because no one's flagging me down when I'm in my office.
Counter to that though is that any time you're in a neighborhood, if you see a police car, it's gonna deter crime. It's gonna stand as a deterrent. Even nobody, criminals aren't gonna look to see if it says Hanahan or Folly Beach on it. They're just gonna see a cop car.
Sure.
So there's benefit to that. Plus it is city money, so we want to at least be able to say, hey, it is a city. If you pull up to a scene, there's something you pull up to on James Island to help them out with something. If it says City of Folly Beach, they're gonna know who you are immediately. Say, okay, cool. You know what I mean? I mean, I think that's some of the other side of the story. To what you're.
Yeah, understand.
Is there cost incurred with logoing and dislogoing when we turn the vehicles in?
That was
Do we
kind
have
of the
to
other thing I told Catherine too, is that, you know, obviously the less stuff we do to a vehicle at the end of its life, when we go to sell it, there's less money incurred on that end as well. Again,
I'll
it's
be
not
honest.
like I use it, it's not my personal car, but I drive to and from, so I wanna put the least amount of lights, the least amount of stuff that I have to legally, so that way if there's an emergency, I can get back here. But I do not drive it anywhere, I do not take it on vacation. I completely respect the fact that this is a city vehicle. It just, to me, I'm literally the only chief that's ever, in this whole entire area, that has a marked car. Like, so it's not a big deal. I definitely, if you guys wanna remove a car, that's fine too, whatever, but, you know, it's one of those things. I just think it's his decision.
I independently researched this. This is fairly standard practice to have what we have here. And also, I'd like to, some of these decisions need to be made by the chief as well. I mean, Bill, I mean, you were a police chief.
I was police chief for 10 years. I worked for a county commission of 7 people. I had a fleet of over 200 cars, and I never, ever had to have this conversation. Never.
Are your cars marked or unmarked?
Are there any, okay,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
let me just ask, in your opinion, obviously, I think I know the answer, but I'll have to ask it anyway. Are there any cars that potentially could be marked that would create less of a threat to the citizens, the police, and those who are forced under using unmarked cars? Are there any cars, the admin cars, or any other cars that could potentially go back to being logoed?
I mean, really, it's
That's,
his decision, you know.
like I
So
said,
what is the admin, tell me about the admin car, I don't know.
that's the,
The city admin car, I don't know.
that's,
not my.
that's
It is-
totally outside public
And it
safety.
is logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's low.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll make this real easy, because we're getting all over the place here. I withdraw my second.
I withdraw my motion. I'm pretty clear the intent of what I was trying to do. I'm very clear I was concerned about the admin. I'm responding to, honestly, in my mind, and I really respect your experience, Bill, and you know, and it's the feedback too that, I guess, I didn't understand why the fire one wasn't logoed, and now you're telling me it's going to be logoed?
It was scheduled to be logo this whole time.
Okay, so I wish that.
was in a logoed vehicle, the F-150.
Yeah.
Transferred to the Tahoe.
Yeah.
We already had planned it's gonna match the fire trucks downstairs.
Okay,
Very
I
over
think
it.
that's wonderful. Unfortunately, that wasn't part of our budget discussion. I mean, flat out, it wasn't. And so I was looking at, by virtue of the position, one detective, 2 traffic. I challenged the administrative piece. And if it's standard practice in South Carolina that the chief gets an unmarked vehicle, and that's part of the climate, the culture, the justification. I'm not saying I have an opinion on it, and I'm not really sure, actually, about the other police person. I don't know, I haven't read the job description, it's new information to me that they helped the detective, so I'm glad we had this conversation publicly, and, you know, I'll withdraw the motion.
And I really, like I said earlier, our conversation was awesome, and I really do appreciate it.
Well, you know I do my homework, and I follow up.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yep.
All my vehicles.
Okay, so that's been withdrawn. Do we have any other discussion on the ordinance itself?
I just add that it's clear from our discussions tonight that a vote for the budget doesn't necessarily mean you agree with every line item in the budget. Because there's a lot of going back and forth, and we've done that, so just because somebody votes for the budget, that doesn't mean every line on that budget they agree with, but there's a process for it. Doc has an opinion, I have an opinion, Dr. Houghton has an opinion, and we talk about that. And the consensus of the board, the majority of the board decides what goes in and what goes out. So the process is good, it is voted on, it is discussed, we go back and forth, and this is the soup we end up with.
It's a healthy deliberation.
It is a very healthy deliberation.
But
My only concern still, sorry, is that I don't know that we're ready to serve this wine before it's time on Thursday. Because Thursday's a meeting to talk about safety, lifeguards, budget line items, whether they're drones or lifeguards, or whether they're signage, or I'm concerned that if we need an allocation for, let's just call it, any kind of beach safety, whether it's, we're pitching in to support the lifeguard because the county's not doing it, I'm concerned that we're not gonna be ready for that conversation until we at least have a time to negotiate with them on Thursday. I don't know what the impact will be to the budget, but I am concerned about that. And I know that it's happening, and I will go. I will definitely go.
Lee, can you come over? So I don't even know what the numbers are gonna look like on Thursday. Again, this is a totally different and very fluid situation with the lifeguard discussion. But
Yeah,
let's back up.
Okay.
So what money is available to us if we had to do some kind of lifeguard, whatever, to bridge the salary thing with the county?
Some kind of contractual agreement with the county to help prop up their lifeguard programs.
And I'm not saying any of that's
Where's
gonna
our
happen.
money? Where's the money gonna come from?
Yeah,
Every
that's-
account's unrestricted fund balance.
It's
There's
unrestricted
several places.
funds?
That's why you store money in unrestricted fund balance. So when stuff comes up, that's not a budgetary item, like an emergency one-time thing, you have money in there to do that.
I understand, okay, and we're not talking about significant money like moving $75,000 from the general fund over to the study. I understand that, we're talking about minuscule dollars, but it can add up, and we've had conversations about putting drones in the water, which are $8,500 a piece. I support that, I think we should put 2 of them in there. I'm concerned about some of the signage, I just want to know, is there gonna be a budgetary line item, or should we consider a budgetary line item for safety in the water? That's it. I mean, and again, this may all be mitigated come Thursday. I don't know, and I don't know anything about the timing of that meeting, but I will be there at that meeting if the mayor wants me to be there. But I guess I'm concerned about that still, and I don't know.
And I know you hate the buzzword reserves,
Yeah.
however, we do have an emergency preparedness reserve that currently has $18,000 sitting in it. For that could be used for that.
So if the chief or whether it's the fire chief or the police chief want to pull the trigger and buy 2 drones that are $16,000 out the door, they have the ability to do that.
It'd be a resolution to council, and you'll.
So we need a resolution.
For reserves.
For reserves, yeah. Well, I
That's
don't
what
know
it's-
that we're ready for that.
That's what it's for.
But,
you don't budget for what ifs.
I understand that.
And I think you're also looking at, I agree that we need to have a bigger conversation around some of these things, especially with the county, as
Right.
far as signage and that type of thing. Because what we have right now is not tenable.
Right.
I do think for the purposes of this budget, it appears that we do have enough flexibility to address some of the issues, should they get negotiated out on Thursday. But to be honest, I feel like we have the flexibility to do what you need. And I say that after having many conversations with Lee today. Any other discussion? All right.
So this would be first reading as amended, and the amendment that passed was to increase the COLA to 3% and offset that increase by reducing the fuel line items across the budget. Mr. Rich?
No.
Dr. Houghton?
no,
Mr. Mr. Farley.
Yes.
Mr. Fink.
Yes.
Dr. Holliday.
No.
Mayor Pizzell.
Yes.
Fails. And so, just an announcement, since the budget failed first reading, we will have to re-advertise the public hearing. So the public hearing that was scheduled next week at 6:16, that's canceled. It may be replaced by a budget workshop. I don't know, we're gonna have to sit with city council and figure that out. So there will not be a public hearing on the budget, due to statutory requirements for the timing of the advertisement of the budget for the public hearing. We may be looking at missing the requirement to pass a budget prior to the 1st of July. If we do that, we'll be coming back to you guys for interim budgets, continuing resolutions, and that sort of thing. So there may be several more budget meetings scheduled between now and July 1st. We will reach out to city council tomorrow to figure out that schedule. It's a 15-day notice. So we do have a short window to re-advertise it. It's gonna put us looking at the last 2 weeks of June, maybe have 2 meetings exactly 1 week apart to pass it. We'll figure that out and we'll send you guys some options tomorrow.
It sounds like the disagreements are rather small, and this is the first reading, so, I mean, we're gonna hold the whole budget process hostage because of a couple things we wanna hold out for individually?
So it did fail first reading?
Is that what we're doing?
I said my piece.
Yeah.
I do too. I feel like there's been a lot of dialogue about this, and actually maybe some conversations that didn't get supported tonight. So for what it's worth, I'm standing until we can prove another way around this, because I am not interested in using reserves for a study that's gonna cost more than $25,000.
All right, so how does that impact everything else?
So because the sewer utility budget, the water utility budget, the beach preservation budget, and the TVPC budget are all parts of the general fund budget and contribute to it, and the general budget has failed, I'd ask the council postpone those votes. I mean, honestly, Joe, I'm kinda, do those all fail by association, or can they just be postponed? Or do they all need to be reintroduced?
They can be postponed.
Okay.
We need a motion to
I think we just need to go down and call them one by one.
All right. Ordinance 1726, establishing the sewer utility budget and appropriating the necessary funds for the operation of the Folly Beach Sewer Utility for fiscal year 2027. First reading. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Saying it cannot be approved because.
We need a motion to postpone it.
Do we need a, yeah, so, thank you. Can we get a motion to postpone that, please?
Can we do a blanket motion for the remainder of all the things we need to postpone?
I'm good with that.
Just
So
do,
Joe, are we okay with that procedurally?
I would rather them
Individually?
be voted individually, frankly. Just,
So do we have a second on the motion to postpone?
okay, so someone did postpone, I'll second.
All right, so this would be on the motion to postpone approval of the sewer budget. Any discussion on the motion to postpone? All right, so back to, well, sorry, it's just the motion to postpone. Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
No.
Mr. Fink?
No.
Sorry. Dr. Holliday?
Yes.
Mayor Gazelle?
Yes.
All right, that one's postponed.
Ordinance 18-26, establishing the water utility budget and appropriating the necessary funds for the operation of Folly Beach Water Utility for fiscal year 2027. First reading. Do we have a motion to postpone?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? All right.
Dr. Holliday,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
No.
Mr. Farley.
No.
Dr. Houghton,
Yes.
Mr. Rich.
Yes.
Mayor Pizzelle,
Yes.
postpone.
Resolution 2526 by the Folly Beach City Council for the adoption of the budget containing estimates of proposed revenues and expenditures for the Tourism and Visitors Promotion Committee beginning July 1st, ending June 30th, 2027. We have a motion to postpone.
So moved.
Second.
Any
Can I make
discussion?
one comment about this, just for when it comes back and we talk about it? We just got this earlier this week. We talked about it a second ago, it's not balanced on the sheet. Can you just add a line, if you're pulling it from reserves, can you put on there that it's from reserves? I didn't see it on there, that way it balances out.
Oh, TVPC.
Yeah, TVPC budget, thank you.
So, on the motion to postpone, Mr. Farley,
No.
Mr. Fink,
No.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Dr. Houghton,
Yes.
Dr. Holliday.
Yes.
Mayor Pizzelle,
Yes.
passes.
All right, resolution 2626 by the Folly Beach City Council transferring remaining budgeted funds within the fiscal year 2026 general budget to reserve accounts for projects in future fiscal years. Do we have a motion to postpone?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All right,
Sorry. Dr. Houghton,
Yes.
Dr. Holliday,
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
No.
Mr. Farley,
No.
Mayor Pizzelle,
yes.
postpone.
All right, resolution 2726, awarding the sole source contract for Surfline Coastal Intelligence in the amount of $76,500 to be paid from the Beach Preservation Fund for automated monitoring and documentation of erosion and shoreline change and beach visitation estimation for the initial period of 12 months. Can we get a motion to postpone?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All right,
Dr. Houghton,
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Farley,
No.
Mr. Fink,
No.
Dr. Holliday,
Yes.
Mayor Pizzelle,
yeah,
postpone.
so for the holiday, we gotta do that one too, right?
Yeah, we need to.
Resolution 2826 by the Folly Beach City Council amending official observed city holidays to include Juneteenth as a recognized city holiday. Motion to postpone.
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
All right.
$9,000.
No.
Mr. Farley,
No.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Fink, Dr. Holliday,
Yes.
Dr. Houghton.
Yes.
Mayor Pizzelle,
Yes.
postpone.
And resolution 2926 allowing reimbursement not to exceed $3,000 for tree placement on 403 East Indian as a mitigation for trees removed from the public right-of-way adjacent to the property for the construction of stormwater improvements. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Was that to approve or postpone?
This is to approve this one.
Tree mitigation.
Any discussion?
No question.
Dr. Holliday,
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Dr. Houghton,
Yes.
Mr. Farley,
Yes.
Mayor Pizzelle,
Yeah.
passes.
All right, council comments, Mr. Fink.
Stay safe on July 4th. Thank you for coming.
Done tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, I would like to allocate the remainder of my discretionary funds. And I put this in writing, now I'm going to announce, I would like to give it to the $200 to the aquarium for the turtle program, and the Let's Walk program, $150. And I thank, finance for facilitating that.
Dr. Holliday.
Just want to congratulate again the amazing public safety department. Despite the fact that there are tragedies occurring in the waters, they're out there, they're trying their best, they're watching, and there's sometimes no way you can recover people, but all we can do is put the hands on deck we have now, and hopefully in the future we can truly fortify this opportunity for mitigating both death and any injury in that water out there. And thank you for all you do.
Thank everybody for coming out Friday night, City of Folly Beach Day at the River Dogs. Thank you, Heather. Kids, is that right? Kids get to throw out the first pitch? If you have any kids, can we talk to Heather? Or are we full?
We're not full for doing toss, but we do have the first pitch.
Cool. If you have kids, get with her. They have a lot of great programs, a lot of great games they play. Well, thank everybody for coming out. And following Catherine West, I'm gonna donate my discretionary money half and half to Pet Helpers and Waves for Women. Have a good night.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.